I understand that sometimes there are covert situations where you have information and you're not going to put it out there. So yesterday, I thought Jason Garrett of the Cowboys was very shrewd. They asked him a question about Dak being 100% certain. Here, the question was, hey, can you definitively say Dak's our quarterback for the future? And here's Jason Garrett's answer.
I don't want to get into all those discussions right now, and we'll have those discussions as an organization. Dak Prescott certainly did an amazing job for us this year.
My takeaway is if he answers that question, the next question is, if you say yes, so what are you going to do with Tony Romo? In fact, I have from 2009, Eric Mangini, you were asked about Dak. Who is this? This is the top. This is Brady Quinn.
Brady Quinn and Derek Anderson.
Okay, and you were asked the question about, and this is, I haven't seen this yet. Here's your answer.
Okay.
In terms of announcing it publicly, that's not something that I plan to do. It'll be internal, and I understand everybody has a different opinion on it. I respect that. I understand the excitement in relationship to that, and I respect that as well. But that will be something that'll be internal.
See, I wouldn't tell the media either about my quarterbacks.
Well, look, Jason's deciding between Dak Prescott and Tony Romo. That's a pretty high-class problem that he's dealing with there. And you're asking the question, the season's not even, the end of the season isn't even cold. Like, to ask him to make that decision right now, so many things can happen between now and when you have to make that decision. And I also feel that if you're putting out there, he could potentially be our starting quarterback, that shows the value that they see in him, and it's sending the right message to anybody else who's considering approaching the Cowboys about Tony Romo. Is in our mind, he still could be the starter for this team. So if you want our starting quarterback, what are you willing to offer for him?
Bingo. That's exactly right. That was my takeaway. Is sometimes in the media we ask questions and we're offended if you don't give us answers. I've never.
That question's so early too, Colin.
It's ridiculous.
At this point, to ask a question about something that's going to happen, 6 months?
Did you
down
ever
the road,
snap at a reporter?
You never win when you snap at reporters.
So
there's nothing good that ever comes from that.
Just like, I've never understood why you're not nicer to me, because there's no win being mean to me.
Why does Bill Belichick snap at players then? Or not at players, reporters, because he does it.
Because he can.
Well, but yeah, when you win that, there is the thought process that with the media, if you win, they can't touch you, and if you lose, they can't save you.
No,
so
that's really good.
Yeah, there's that thought process too, and with Bill, everything is done to protect the team. Everything is done to protect a competitive advantage. So not talking about something isn't because you're trying to make someone else's job harder. It's because you're trying to make you're trying to protect your team as well as you can. And that's hard for a lot of people to understand. And they think you're being unreasonable by doing that.
You start ad-libbing is when you get into trouble. Bill doesn't ad-lib. Bill goes in and just says, boom. Because, I've done that before. I've done interviews. Here's my talking points. All of a sudden I start ad-libbing. That's when you get in trouble. So Bill's like, I'm not ad-libbing. You ask me, I give you an answer. I move to the next one.
I remember saying about a quarterback, he's our starting quarterback right now. And I wish I had just said he's our starting quarterback, period, and left off the right now, because it became this firestorm, and it was never my intention. It was just the idea that, look, anything could happen. I don't know. Yeah, he's the starting quarterback right now, and it was such a huge issue because I didn't take those two words off my sentence.